Today's story happened while the Israelites were wandering in the desert. As they traveled, they would camp for a while at certain places, and sometimes their army would fight with the people around them. When they were camped in a place called Moab, the king of Moab, whose name was Balak, was afraid. He hired a nearby prophet to put a curse on the Israelites. The prophet's name was Balaam, and you'll see that he was not a very nice man. But God got his attention in an amazing way. Balaam lived in the land of Pethor, near the Euphrates River. He was a prophet for hire. When Balak, the king of Moab, saw all the Israelites camped east of the Jordan River, opposite the town of Jericho, his people were terrified. "This mob will eat us like an ox eats grass," they exclaimed. So Balak sent messengers to Balaam. Balak's messengers offered Balaam money to come and curse the Israelites. "We believe those you bless are blessed, and those you curse are doomed," they said. That night, God spoke to Balaam in a dream. "Don't do it," God told him. "You are not to curse the Israelites, for I have blessed them." Balaam obeyed and sent the messengers home, but they returned, offering more money and honors. Again, God spoke to Balaam at night. "You may get up and go with these men, but be sure to say only what I tell you." The next morning, Balaam saddled his donkey and set off towards Moab. But God was angry with Balaam's eager attitude. As Balaam and two servants were riding along, Balaam's donkey suddenly saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with a drawn sword. She bolted off the road into a field, but Balaam beat her back onto the road. The angel then stood where the road went between two vineyard walls. The donkey squirmed past the angel by pressing against the wall, crushing Balaam's foot in the process. So he beat the donkey again. Then the angel blocked the path and the donkey lay down. In a fit of temper, Balaam beat the donkey a third time. The Lord caused the donkey to speak. "What have I done that deserves your beating me these 3 times?" she asked. "You have made me look like a fool," Balaam shouted. "I wish I had a sword with me to kill you." Then God opened Balaam's eyes to see the angel. The angel told him, "Go with the men, but say only what I tell you to say." Balaam went to Balak and was taken to Mount Bamoth Baal, overlooking the Israelite army. Balaam offered sacrifices, then spoke what God told him. Instead of cursing the Israelites, he blessed them. "What have you done to me?" demanded King Balak. He marched Balaam to Mount Pisgah to make more sacrifices. Again, Balaam spoke what God told him and blessed the Israelites. A furious Balak then took Balaam to Mount Peor to offer sacrifices. But the Spirit of God came on Balaam, and he spoke only good things about the Israelites. King Balak, livid with rage, shouted, "I called you to curse my enemies, and instead you have blessed them 3 times. Get out of here. Go back home." Balaam announced that the Israelites would overcome their enemies and then went home. He was not given the honors Balak had promised.
Wow, God sure got Balaam's attention. It's funny to see me look like I'm talking, but I'm really just a picture of a donkey that's been animated by a computer. Only God can make a living animal talk like a person. We know that Balaam was not a kind man because he was mean to his own donkey. If God had not spoken to him in a dream, Balaam would have happily taken money from King Balak to curse God's people. And I hope, after God made his donkey speak to him, that Balaam learned to treat his animals with more respect.
The first of 10 commandments that Moses brought from God was worship only God. The second commandment that Moses brought from God, don't make an idol and worship only God. The third commandment that Moses brought from God, don't misuse his name. Don't make an idol and worship only God. The fourth commandment that Moses brought from God, keep the Sabbath holy. Don't misuse his name. Don't make an idol and worship only God. The fifth commandment that Moses brought from God, honor your dad and mom. Keep the Sabbath holy. Don't misuse his name. Don't make an idol and worship only God. The sixth commandment that Moses brought from God, don't kill a person. Honor your mom and dad. Keep the Sabbath holy. Don't misuse his name. Don't make an idol and worship only God. The seventh commandment that Moses brought from God, be faithful to your spouse. Don't kill a person. Honor your mom and dad. Keep the Sabbath holy. Don't misuse his name. Don't make an idol and worship only God. The eighth commandment that Moses brought from God, do not steal. Be faithful to your spouse. Don't kill a person. Honor your mom and dad. Keep the Sabbath holy. Don't misuse his name. Don't make an idol and worship only God. The ninth commandment that Moses brought from God, don't tell a lie. Do not steal. Be faithful to your spouse. Don't kill a person. Honor your mom and dad. Keep the Sabbath holy. Don't misuse his name. Don't make an idol and worship only God. The 10th commandment that Moses brought from God, don't covet stuff. Don't tell a lie. Do not steal. Be faithful to your spouse. Don't kill a person. Honor your mom and dad. Keep the Sabbath holy. Don't misuse his name. Don't make an idol and worship only God. Well, hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed the story today. But if you'd like to try making a puppet of Balaam's donkey, then you can do that with me in just a minute. Um, there's also some other Balaam's donkey art projects in the link below the video if you want to try some of those. But anyway, if you want to try making a Balaam's donkey puppet, one that will talk, you can make it talk. Here's what you need to do. You'll need a sock, an old sock like this. You might want to use one that doesn't have a mate. You'll need some paper. Got some, I've got white paper, some black paper. You might want a Sharpie and some glue. But the nice thing about the glue stick is that if you need to keep the sock, then the glue stick will wash out and your puppet will just be around long enough for you to play with it, and then it can be a sock again. So anyway, here's what you do. We'll say bye to this sock. Bye. Bye. Okay, so Balaam's donkey goes away. So here's what you do. So you take your sock, put it on your hand. Okay, so you put the sock in, and then you're going to put the mouth in. So the mouth goes between your forefingers here and your thumb, and you push the sock in there. And then you're going to take a piece of white paper or whatever color you have and cut it in an oval and fold it over like that. Now my oval is probably a little too big, so I'll trim it down a little bit. Okay, so this is going to be the inside of the mouth. So a nice oval there, and it'll fit right inside the mouth there. Now, if you have an index card, that might be good too. So you take this and you put glue on it. So now the donkey can move his mouth. Okay, now he might want a tongue. So you take a little piece of red paper, or you could just take a red crayon or marker and color the tongue in there. That would work fine too. But the tongue goes down at the bottom of the mouth there. Okay. Now he's going to need some eyes. So I've got some paper circles that I drew a black dot on for the pupil of the eye. Okay, now I'm going to put the, yeah, if you have googly eyes, those would be fun too. So there's the eyes. Now the donkey's got to have long ears, right? Okay, so I've cut some black or whatever color your sock is. The donkey might have ears to match, or might have different color ears. That's fine too. But the ears are going to go right behind your hand here. So we'll put some glue along the bottom of the ear. See the purple glue there? And it's going to go right on the back of my hand there. Okay, now I've got another ear. And it goes on the back of the hand there. Okay, now I have a donkey that can talk. Do you remember what Balaam's donkey said? So in Numbers chapter 22, verse 28, the Lord opened the mouth of the donkey, and she said to Balaam, "What have I done to you that you have struck me these 3 times?" And Balaam said to donkey, "Because you have made a fool of me. I wish I had a sword in my hand, for then I would kill you." And the donkey said to Balaam, "Am I not your donkey, on which you have ridden all your life long to this day? Is it my habit to treat you this way?" And he said, "No." So you can make a donkey puppet, or try one of the projects down below in the video description. Thanks for joining us. And let's close off with a prayer. Dear God, thank you for taking care of us, just like you took care of the Israelites as they traveled through the desert. And thank you for sending your son Jesus, who told us to pray for our enemies and not to wish for bad things to happen to them. Please help us to always show your love wherever we go. In your son's holy and precious name, amen. Thanks, and I hope you'll join us next time. Bye-bye.